Hey everybody, this is vlog 39 and it's been a while. Been over 2 weeks since my last vlog where I talked about having a daylight hallucination in a grocery. Yeah, if you want to hear about that, go down the previous video. And check that out. Some people called it intense, which is accurate. It was intense when I dealt with it. But anyway, on to new things. As you can tell, I have shaved my head, trimmed up my beard. I felt these things necessary. One, I really started to dislike the hair on my head. I don't mind facial hair at all. Like, I encourage it almost. But I don't like hair on my head. My scalp is, I don't know. I have because for the longest time I sported, decently long hair and a really big bushy beard, and I got various skin issues underneath my beard and on my scalp, and so I had to deal with those. And to do that, of course, you have to cut your hair short and your beard shorter to get various lotions on them. But it was getting bad, and I got sick of dealing with it, so I just buzz my head. I mean, I do this basically yearly. Usually I do it more near, that's weird. I usually do it nearer towards summer, because it gets hot, and I'm someone who gets warm very quickly. It gets, up to the 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm sweating. So I'm not someone who enjoys the heat. Unfortunately, I live in a state where it gets hot frequently, or it's hot most of the year. But anyway, I'm a little on edge tonight. I'm a little enraged just by various things. It's people who I guess it's not just people that I know, because some of the people that I know who know about my mental illness, they don't understand. Their knowledge, they know that I have a mental illness. They don't understand it, because knowledge and understanding are two incredibly different things that a lot of people tend to confuse. Be like, oh, I know things about that. Yeah, but do you understand it? That's a completely different level. And I love my family. I love the support they give me, but sometimes they don't fully recognize certain things. And I've tried my hardest to explain to them in the nicest way that sometimes certain things that happen, or certain things that are brought up to me, they elicit negative responses automatically, and it's not me, it's my illness that's giving these responses, because the illness overrides anything that I normally would do or say or anything like that. And that's unfortunate because I'm like a third person in the conversation, because I'm like, don't say that, and then I say it because I can't help myself. There's nothing stopping it. If someone could somehow magically make some sort of drug that would keep stuff like that from happening, then they need to get on that and get that shit FDA approved so I can swallow that son of a bitch and, not get angry and ticked off so much. I mean, it's the little things, really, and that's part of what's so crazy about it. Big things sometimes happen, and they don't even affect me. But then it's these little tiny things that apparently are expected of me, which, to my normal conscious thought, I have no imagination. Nothing in my imagination could even believe that these things are, that I'm, carouseled with them in some manner. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it really makes me mad. It puts me into a rage, and I used to get very angry at times, and I would physically harm things. I do have to say this: I never touched or physically harmed another human being or animal or whatever. The only things that ever got injured or broken, more likely, were glasses and, cups, not eyewear. Cell phones, because somehow cell phones are so easy to clutch and throw. Various peripherals, mice, like, for a computer, controllers for video games, for console games, remote controls for television or DVD players or whatever. Yeah, they've all been chucked at something at some point. I don't do that so much anymore because I don't normally get angry enough. Like, I used to not have it under control, so that's why I would, break out and throw things and what have you. I have it a little bit more under control now, which is crazy because I'm even more out of control now than I was before. So the fact that I have more control over my rash decisions now than I did before is a strange thing in itself. And I'm sure someone could do a study on that, and lots of interesting things would come of it. But that's not going to happen, so who cares? I was doing real good for a couple weeks. I thought we went up to visit my sister, my youngest sister, who's in college. She's an art student. And she had, I think I've been to every art show that she was in. This is called Art Expo. And as much as I have a very there's only certain art that I'm like, okay, that's not art. But, you know, shit like Kandinsky, I'm like, that's not art. That's people throwing paint at a canvas or pissing on a canvas and calling it art. I'm like, that's not art. You know? You know what I mean? It just don't get me going with modern art, because I will. Yeah, that doesn't make me happy. But anyway, I like to go and support her because she really is a very good artist in multiple fields of artistry. Um, so anyway, I decided, and this was the first trip I've taken in a while, was to go up to Boone, North Carolina, where it was really freaking cold and snowing most of the time we were there. Um, um, which I actually kind of enjoyed, it being that cold, because it hardly ever gets that cold down here where we live. I mean, we live at about 435 feet above sea level. She's around 300 or not 300, 3,450 or 75 feet above sea level. So, because Grandfather Mountain is near there in North Carolina, and that peak is a mile high. So that's 5,280 feet. So, you know, it's a significantly different I don't want to say biosphere, but you know what I mean, atmosphere. The atmosphere is different. So there's a little bit less oxygen. But we went there, we did that, and then I came back home, and there was a week where I was doing really good. I was doing better than I thought I would ever do after a trip like that. That really, you know, challenged me. And then I went to a couple events that happened at a local wine and beer shop, and saw lots of people, and did a lot of conversing and what have you, and a lot of social energy was being used at the time, as well as back during when we went to the art show, because even more then really than when I was at the beer and wine tastings, because the beer and wine tastings I actually knew people, so I was able to talk with them, and the people that I know, it helps stabilizes me, and I don't use as much social energy. But at this art show, there was tons and tons of people there who I had no idea who they were. You know, they're college students, or some of them aren't. You know, because it's a free to go to show. So, you know, there's people from all over that area coming in, looking at the art. And I took my camera. I took a couple. I don't know. I think I may have taken maybe 5 photos. Not because there wasn't anything interesting. It just got to the point where I didn't feel like looking through the lens anymore. And I know only after 5 pictures that's pretty lame. But that's how packed, and how, at least to me, how packed and crowded this place was. where I didn't want to be looking through a lens. I wanted to be able to actually use my full vision because it was kind of freaking me out. But I got home, and then that week I was doing well. And like I said, I went to the beer stuff, and then after that weekend, a couple days passed, and then everything crashed on me. I felt terrible. I don't really know what happened, to tell you the truth. None of my medications changed or anything. I was taking all my meds. I never missed any medications in terms of taking them, the morning and night doses. So I was just feeling bad, and it's just unfortunate. It was really unfortunate because today, what's left of today, which actually ended 5 minutes ago, apparently, but the 12th of March was my mother's birthday. So I actually apologized to her that I was sorry that I didn't feel good on her birthday, because I knew that I would eventually, at some point that day, in some conversation with her, I would become an incorrigible bastard. For no reason. And that happened. It was at the end of the night, but at the end in the evening, I like being left alone, and watch TV shows that I'm catching up on and stuff like that. And I was watching stuff, and I had multiple people come in telling me things, and I hate being interrupted because when I watch a TV show or when I play a video game, I completely let my mind just sink into that world. I find it to be, it's a form of escapism. And when someone knocks on my door, they bring me all the way out of that. And when that happens, it's very annoying. It's irritating. So, yeah. But anyway, my sister, who's in the art show, my youngest sister and my mother are going to be gone to look at a school in Virginia that has a master's program for what my sister wants to, some sort of art master's program that she wants to attend. So they're going to check that out for a couple days, so it will again be just me and Dad and Millie, the dog, at home. Dad will be at work, of course, and I will be in charge of dealing with the dog and dealing with making meals, at least on the Wednesday and the Friday. Thursdays we usually go out to eat. Usually. So, I mean, we may not, I don't really know. It depends on how, I guess, he feels. So, it's funny sometimes how it's not about how I feel. But I never complain, so, because I'm grateful for all the stuff that I have. Well, not just stuff. That's not really what I'm talking about. Not material items. I'm talking about, a roof over my head, food to eat, somewhere safe to sleep, stuff like that. Um, I'm very grateful for those things. But it's unfortunate that sometimes I have to reach out of those boundaries and do something else. So, and it sucks because since I feel like shit, especially these past couple days, that I'm hoping it'll pass and I'll actually feel good the next couple days. But anyway, we've hit over 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop it before it gets too long. Me rambling. I'm going to listen to some, I think I've got queued up in Winamp. Yes, I still use Winamp because it's awesome and it never stopped being awesome. And iTunes is absolute shit for playing music. I think I got queued up some Rage Against the Machine. So that'll help with the anger issues. So I'll rock out to some of that until I get sleepy and then go to bed or whatever. Make another drink. And I got one here, Sláinte. If you don't know what that means, that's Gaelic for cheers. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna sign off and give you guys the normal, not the normal, but the standard goodbye salute. Take it easy, my friends.